Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day's going just wonderful. I'm so glad you're joining me. Today we are going to create a card that could be used for a birthday, a just because, a note card, and we're going to be using some new items over at Spellbinders. This is called the All Occasion Bow. It's a very large die set that creates a very big bow. And then I'm also going to be using the Petite Blooms Sentiments. This has a hello banner that you can use as a sentiment. It has some foliage, and then also has a little tag that has for you that you can insert it or not. The hello you can insert or not in the banner also, makes it versatile. And then there's some leaves and a couple of flowers that you can layer together and a little bud bloom. We're going to be using these, put them both together to create a slimline card. I haven't made a slimline card in a very long time. I'm not going to go mini slimline, I'm going to go regular slimline. And I do want to mention that the All Occasion bow set, at first glance I thought, okay, it'd be very easy to put together because the pieces are large. But I was having a little problem with figuring out how to put it together. But I didn't need to figure out how because Spellbinders does it for you. If you go to the Spellbinders shop, where the All Occasion bow is, they have a downloadable PDF that tells you exactly how to create the bow. So easy peasy. Basically what you need to do is cut out 2 of everything. And so that's what we're going to start by doing. I want to create a neutral bow with some colorful florals. The cardstock that I'm going to be using is from Spellbinders, and I'm going to be using Alabaster for the main portion of my bow section, and then you can create stripes with it. Let me show you. These detail pieces you can create stripes with, and so I thought we would double up with white and the mirror gold cardstock, just kind of so we have a little bit of that gold peeking out. And then for the florals, our Petite Blooms and Sentiments. We'll take this beautiful leaf, I'll die cut that out with Teal Topaz, and I'm going to do that 4 times. And then, I do like the little flower buds, so we'll die cut this out. I think I'm going to bring in some craft cardstock for the stem. I think some brown or will be nice neutral for the card. So I have some craft color. I think Portobello would work, but I don't think this is Portobello. I think this is regular Nina Desert Storm. So I'll cut this out 4 times, and then you have the little flower bud portion, and I'll die cut that out 4 times with my Persimmon cardstock. I don't know if I'm going to have enough room for a greeting, but just in case, I'll die cut out my hello with the banner. You can see it's an insert. I'll lay them both together and die cut that out with white cardstock. And then I'll also take the banner and cut that out with the mirror gold cardstock. And I have a bit of die cutting to do. I will be right back. Now I did a bit of die cutting. It looks like a lot, but there really isn't too many. And technically, you don't have to layer these 2. You can only do 1 set. You don't have to do 2, but I think that little gold peeking out is going to be really pretty for my project. Okay, we are going to create our flower bud. I already did 3 of them. I'm going to use my glue, and you just add a little dot of glue over the bud portion, and then you can add the colored cardstock right over the craft cardstock. And I love that you can do this with Spellbinders dies because it just makes things easy and really pretty. So I'll let those dry. I'm going to go ahead and put these in here. And then these are our beautiful leaves. We'll put these off to the side also. And I did die cut out my hello with the banner, you can see. I'll put that in there with this. Okay, to create our bow, there is a little V shape here. I don't know if the camera's picking it up a little bit, but it is debossed, and that's going to help with lining up these pieces. I'm going to add these 2 together to create 1 piece, and I want the white on top, so I will go ahead and flip over the white pieces. Add some glue. Actually, you know what? Let me wipe this off. I'm going to wipe the glue off. Because since I am adhering on my mirror gold cardstock, the glue takes a little bit of time to dry, so I decided to use my tape runner. I'm going to add some adhesive behind the white portion. I'm going to find the coordinating piece, and we have 2 of each, and I'm just going to add the white right over the top so a little bit of that gold is peeking out. Okay, we'll do that to all of these pieces. We just flip them around. We add the coordinating, we find the coordinating piece and continue. So we have our gold accent behind each one of our white ones. Now for the bow center piece, I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to add adhesive behind the white portion. And this piece here, I'm going to trim in half. Because our bow is going to be perfectly centered, I don't want to offset this. So I'm going to cut this right down the middle, like so, and then I will add this to the left, and then I'll add the other piece to the right. And then that's evenly spaced. What we'll do is now add our stripe pieces to the base of our bow. Okay, this piece here, let me zoom in. This piece here has a horizontal length, which is wider, and then it has a vertical length. You want to put this vertically so it will line up right in the middle, like that. And then we have 2 different sets, a left set and a right set, since we cut out 2 of each. I'm going to take my bow here, and this is the left bow portion. I'm going to take this piece. We're going to add some adhesive behind it. This is where those those little V indentations really help out. You add this. This will line up here. And then this bottom edge goes inside the V. Let me show you. See, there's the indentation. The V is right. Let's mark it so you can see. Because it's going to be basically covered. Here's the V right here. And then on this one, you have the V. I'll take my next piece. Now this is going to be a little bit different because we're a little bit wider because I added the gold. But no worries, you can still line it up on the inside of that V. And then you can add this to the bow. Like this. Now, after we have this one done, kind of looks like a butterfly wing. I'm going to take this piece, and then we're going to do the same thing. This one doesn't have a V flap, but you can basically follow along the edge here, and we'll do the same thing here, and then we have some stripes on this piece. Okay, and then we have this last piece that goes on the left portion of our bow. I'm going to add adhesive behind here. I'm going to layer this right over that curve. And our left side is done. Okay, I'm going to put this off to the side, and we're going to do the same exact thing, but this time to the right. To create my slimline card, this is how I do it. I know there's different measurements, but I like a 3.5 inch slimline. So I have a standard piece of cardstock, which is 8.5 inches by 11, and I'm scoring at the 3.5 inch mark. And then what I like to do is just fold at the scorer. We have a train going by, can you hear it? And then what I do is take my paper trimmer. This way it'll fit in here. And I'll cut at the 3.5 inch mark. And that creates my card base. So my slimline is 3.5 inches by 8.5 inches. Okay. Now, instead of using a white panel, I'm going to be using Waterfall cardstock. And this is going to go perfectly centered on my slimline. We're actually going to make a landscape. This measures 3 inches tall by 8 inches wide. I know there's some slimline rectangles that you can use. But I'm going to add this to this. But I do want a little bit of, you know me, I like some texture in the background. So to do that, I'm bringing in the 3D Puff Dotty embossing folder from Spellbinders. So we have some nice 3D polka dots. But what I love about the Puff Dotty embossing folder is there is a coordinating stencil that you can use over those dots to do a little bit of ink blending. And you don't even have to put pixie spray behind them because you just line it up over the embossed area. You could tack it down, but it's really kind of not necessary. And then I'm going to use my blending tool here, add a little bit of my Aqua Sky ink, and we're going to do a little bit of shading. Okay, so we have a little bit of shading for the edges of our panel. Let me show you. On that dimension. It's super fun. Now I'm going to take this panel and I'm going to adhere it to my slimline card. It's going to go right in the middle. We're going to start by adding adhesive to the end pieces of our bow. If you wanted to use glue, because we are using an embossed panel, you could use glue. I'm going to go all the way overlapping that panel in the center here. We attach these to the left and to the right. I'm going to go all the way up to the edge of my slimline. And then with this piece, I'm going to flip it over. We're going to put some foam squares behind here. Okay, and then I'll take this. We're going to sandwich them together right here in the middle. We'll tack these down. And then I put a foam square behind the center piece. And it looks like the narrower end goes on the top. We will center that. And I only put one foam square because we're going to do a little tucking here with our florals. I'm going to add my teal first. I'm going to use my glue. And we cut out 4 of these. And I'm going to tuck 2. We're going to do one side and then I'll do the other side exactly the same. And I think that looks really pretty. And then we have our sprigs. I cut out 4 of these. We're going to add some glue here. I think that little touch of orange makes a big difference. We'll just tuck those under the bow. I'm actually going to trim the bottom of this a little bit so we could tuck it a little bit more under here. And for the greeting, I am going to use the hello that we cut out, but I am going to trim the one I'm going to take my scissors and cut this gold mirror in half, add some adhesive to the left and to the right, and then we're going to extend our greeting. So we have a little bit of gold on the left and the right. I put foam squares on the back, and this is going to go in the center of our bow. I think that's perfectly symmetrical, but I think that turned out so pretty. I do want to add, of course, I got to add some sparkle. Bells and whistles, I have diamond stickles, and I'm going to go over the orange flowers here, and we're going to add a little bit of sparkle. The stickles has some gold iridescent hues to it, and I think it's going to really accent that orange cardstock, and I'm just going to go over the beds with this. So we have some, when it dries, you'll really be able to see that gold. But that finishes off my card today, and that finishes my card today. A slimline card I haven't created, but I think it's great for all occasions. And I thank you so much for joining me. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you soon. Bye.